Hey, Tish, I see you. Meredith, hello. S Smiles 88, hello. Is it Hendrik? Rhonda? Hi. David, hello. Amanda, hello. Ah, there you are.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
I know, good to see you too.
Yeah.
Hi, Victoria from Sydney. Melanie from Sydney. Oh my
Hi.
God. I would love to go there sometime. I always say that about everywhere, but one day I'll travel all over the world.
Yeah, me too. I would love to go to Sydney. I've been to New Zealand, which is not too far from there. So,
New
yeah.
Zealand. I haven't really thought of New Zealand. Is that where you said you would like to
Oh,
live? Like if
oh,
you could choose another place to live, it would be New
yes.
Zealand?
Yeah, absolutely. I spent a month there in 2019, and I would love to live in New Zealand. Yeah.
I don't
It
know.
probably never happened, but it's a good dream.
Maybe someday, right?
Maybe someday. Yeah.
Uh, Janelle from Dallas, Texas. Steph from England. Uh,
Wow.
Ba Lake H, Toronto. All right.
Wow.
Death and Taxes 89. I love that name. Hi, first time joining live. Followed you both at recommendation of my therapist.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's incredible.
That is. Wow. Well,
Um,
thank you so much for following and supporting. So,
yeah, thank you. And please tell your therapist, like that's amazing. Really. We really appreciate that.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, please tell your therapist that we say thank you as well.
Yes. Yes.
And we're glad you're here. I think they said the comment just scrolled. First time they're on the live. So welcome.
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 Yeah.
Okay. Well, Karan just bought a badge, actually. So thank you.
Oh,
Just want to say thank you for that. So I guess if there are some people on for the first time, we try to do this on Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're just here for you. We answer questions about ADHD or general mental health, or it can be a lot of different things. It doesn't have to necessarily be about those topics, but we're just here for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it changes every Friday. We get different topics. Sometimes we talk about the same thing. So we always get new questions, it seems, every single Friday. So
Right.
it can get interesting for sure.
Yeah, it can. It can.
Yeah.
Karan says that he hopes you feel better, or that you are feeling better.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Mark says, I always look forward to seeing y'all and learning. Well, thank you, Mark. I recognize your name. I know you've been on here before, and if I remember, I think we have learned a couple things from you too. So, yeah.
Sure.
Cookie Nat, what age trauma causes onset of ADHD? What age trauma causes onset? Um, so, would you be able to reword that or rephrase it just so that I'm clear? Like, are you asking if there is a certain age limit where I don't know, if you go through trauma, then can it cause ADHD? I think I understand that right. I'll look out for your comment. Or unless do you understand what?
No, yeah, I'm curious.
Okay.
I'm curious what they're asking.
Can you talk about anxiety and ADHD?
Yeah, they typically go hand in hand, honestly. I know I talk about this a lot on lives and also with the content that I post, but there are so many things that overlap with ADHD. And I know there are a lot of people, and I know Brittany, you probably speak to this more than I can, but there's a lot of people who have anxiety and have ADHD, and so I don't experience that piece of it. But Brittany, do you want to kind of share your experience with that?
Yeah, I think that, oh, oh, no, that's okay. I mean, anxiety is quite common with ADHD, and it can be for a variety of reasons. There can be some overlapping of other conditions, whether it's being on the spectrum, OCD, PTSD, generalized anxiety. Some go through some pretty serious social anxiety. I don't experience the social anxiety, but I do have some generalized anxiety. My mind can just go, it can like spin out of control, and I'll create these things in my head that will probably never, ever, ever, ever happen. But, and I've recognized that, and I'm trying to be more mindful of kind of stopping myself. Like, I'm sure we've all been here where there's something going on in the world, as always, whether it's politics or something, whatever it may be. And then so you get into it so much, and it's creating so much anxiety that eventually you're like, okay, I got to stop.
Yeah.
I got to stop, because I'm getting angry. I'm getting anxious. I'm worrying. We've all been there, I think. So I think just being mindful of like kind of catching yourself when these things are happening can be helpful.
Yeah, you know what? I want to back up from what I said just a bit ago. So I don't experience like generalized anxiety or really the social anxiety piece of it, I don't think, but I do experience sensory overload. And a lot of times I do connect and relate sensory overload to that anxious type of feeling. I don't know about you all, but sensory overload definitely causes me to feel nervous and anxious, and I just want to run out of the store, and you get the burned out feeling and all of that. So I think one thing that has helped me with that piece of it is just trying to identify what triggers that, like what triggers the anxiety, what triggers the sensory overload. And once you identify that, you can put some measures into place depending on what the situation is to help minimize that anxious and nervous feeling. So
yeah, I would agree. And there was someone that said their 11-year-old son just got diagnosed. Anxiety is pretty heightened.
yeah.
So, and it's so hard when they're children, because I mean, it's hard for us, at least for me, to put my feelings into words. So sometimes, I mean, most of the time, the kids don't even understand. They don't fully understand what is going on or why they are acting a certain way and what caused it in the first place.
Yeah.
So I kind of talk about, so think of like after school meltdowns. Like they could be fine at school all day, and then they come home and they are unleashing.
Yeah.
They're unleashing. They may not understand why that happens like every day or every other day.
Yeah.
But there can be a lot going on. Like they're like holding it together. There could be a lot, anything going behind that. But I guess my point is that sometimes helping to identify or kind of narrowing it down. Some kids have they have difficulty transitioning or like any kind of changes. So I know we don't really have to do this anymore with our son with ADHD. He will be 12 tomorrow, actually. But I mean, no, we still kind of do it. Like sometimes we'll tell him like ahead of time, like, hey, this is coming up on this day, or this is happening here at this time. And it's just so like he can process it and tell himself, okay, like this is what's coming. And so he can prepare for it. Transitions used to be really hard for him. Really, really hard. We would have to really just kind of tell him some things over and over again, or maybe even show up early to some places so that he, I don't know, could kind of like regulate himself a little bit before going in, like kind of giving him that time. I mean, there's so much that I don't know, there's so much, I guess. And, you know, for an 11-year-old that just got diagnosed, I'm glad that you as a mother got some answers. It's going to be a long journey. I mean, Tish, you have two boys that are grown adults, and it's a journey, and you're going to be constantly learning, constantly trying new things, constantly trying to communicate. It's just like it's not ever going to end, I don't think. Do you think so?
I don't think so. I mean, it's definitely a journey. And I think that, you know, with anything in life, the older that you get, the more, you know, you're learning along the way, you know what works, what doesn't work. And so when I think back to just my childhood, you know, having ADHD, there is a lot of unknown with all of that. And also there's a piece of that too, where, you know, you're masking all day long, or I masked all day long until you experience that burnout at the end of the day, or you may feel anxious about going into a certain class or being around certain people because you hear, oh, you need to try harder, or why don't you just do X, Y, and Z? You know, you hear that, oh, just do this kind of thing. And so I think there's a little bit of, you know, it's difficult, it's challenging because you do hear those things and you have to mask and you have to do all the stuff just to make it through. So
Right.
I mean, it definitely cause some anxiety and burnout and disappointment and all the stuff. I'm not trying to sound negative.
No, I mean, it is the truth though. And I think just recognizing that as like, as his mother, or as a mother or father to your child, it encourage them, acknowledge how hard they really are trying, because I guarantee that they are. And just the fact that you're here, I forget who even asked that now, but just the fact that you're here trying to learn, that says it all right there.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I think one recommendation that I would provide on this is that, you know, at the end of the day, whenever, you know, a child comes home from school, and again, there's those layers of, you know, sensory overload and masking and your fear of failure, you know, your people pleasing, all of this stuff. And I think it's important to give anybody, even adults, a time to where they can just completely unwind. And that could be listening to music or, you know, whatever, a hobby or whatever they want to focus on. And so I just think it's important to give everyone really time to just let their brain relax, whatever it is that they love to do. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's important to know that everybody is different, and there's probably going to be some things that your son says that they're not going to make sense to you, but it is real to him. Mm-hmm. And this isn't even just for, I don't know, I don't think it's just for people with ADHD, but it's much stronger. So like even the sensory input, let's take that for example. You could have, I mean, there's many with ADHD that could like blare that music and it doesn't bother them. But then if they're like in a crowded room and there's all kinds of sounds going on at once, and then like two people are trying to talk and talk to you, and then like you're like losing it, but then it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. It's not even loud in here. Like you can handle this, but you can't handle this. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. So there's probably going to be some things that your son says that will kind of make you question, but it's very normal and it's very real to him. You know, I guess one example with my son, he has a very high pain tolerance. He really, really does. But gosh, I remember like when he goes to the dentist, he doesn't like it when they blow that air like on his gums and teeth. He says it hurts. It physically hurts, and it's almost like a shock to his head and brain. That's how he describes it. And it was a few years ago when, I don't know, he must have they were doing it, and then I don't know if he kind of like pulled back or something. He was like, oh, you know, like I don't like that hurts. And they were like, oh, it's a little bit of air, and you know, like it's okay, it doesn't hurt. And I don't know, afterward he was actually, I mean, he was kind of mad. He said, you know, don't tell me whether something hurts or not. It hurts. And you can think like it's just a little bit of air, while he could like have a pretty, I don't know, I don't want to say serious injury, but an injury where
Yeah.
you think it would hurt and he's barely reacting to it. And you're like, the heck, that doesn't make sense.
Well, he's being dismissed. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
just fine, you're fine. He's like, he's being dismissed, and that alone doesn't feel good to be dismissed. And I completely interrupted you.
Oh, I think I interrupted you once, so it's okay. I think the point is that just, I mean, I guess just listening and knowing that what he's describing it is very real.
Yeah.
He may not even understand what is going on with him sometimes, and I think asking questions and keeping that open communication can really help. And yeah, so and everybody's different too. Everybody's anxiety is different. Everybody's triggers are different.
Yeah. And that's the key. And I just interrupted you again. I'm sorry.
No, I was done. That was it. That was all.
I know, and that's the thing too, is that it's just really important to, try not, and it's so hard. I struggle with this myself, but try not to compare yourself to others and others' experiences, because we all have such different experiences. Well, everyone does in life in general. And then people with ADHD, we really do, even though we're diagnosed with the same thing, our experiences are so different because, again, there's three main types of ADHD. And then a lot of us have coexisting things along with it, anxiety, autism, bipolar disorder, depression. So everyone's journey is different. So, yeah.
Thank you for that. I hope Cookie Nat is still on here, because I did, it kind of clarified a little bit. Childhood ADHD, I had the school called my parents every day, and my father created situational environment and training to remove the collection of symptoms. So that one that was asking about trauma. So I think, yeah, maybe diagnosed with ADHD, but there was some kind of trauma. There are some research out there talking about trauma and ADHD, but it's one of those things sometimes where it's just kind of hard to tell. I don't know if I necessarily want to say that trauma causes ADHD, but it could make it worse. It could intensify symptoms for whatever reason. But there is a lot of, I mean, like, if you have ADHD, you have an increased risk of like going through some kind of trauma or like something from childhood. But it's kind of one of those things where it's still a grayish area, I feel like. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a topic that I want to learn more about myself. I don't have enough knowledge to really speak to it, and I don't want to, base my whatever I'm going to say on my own opinion. And so, I think anything that we go through in life with trauma or, whatever it may be, can definitely it adds stress to your life. And as we all know, increased stress can make your ADHD traits worse. So when you think of it that way, and that could be stress from anxiety, it could be stress from autism, it could be stress from, life.
Right.
Just life. And definitely stress can make ADHD traits worse, or it does for me anyway. I'm trying to stay away from the blanket statements, but it definitely makes my ADHD traits much worse, because I'm not getting enough sleep, and when I'm stressed, I'm not eating enough, or I forget to hydrate, or so it just kind of snowballs into a mess.
Yeah, I agree. I think she also asked something about if we knew something about TRE and shamanic, maybe anxiety and anger release, which I don't think I have. I don't know what TRE stands for. I'll have to look into that though.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I'm interested in it. You're sparking my curiosity in that for sure. And again, that is definitely a topic I want to learn more about.
Amy's asking, are the ups and downs normal for them? He seems so angry at times for 6, and then he's sweet 10 minutes later. I feel awful for him. So referring to her first grader. I think she said in a comment above that been like forgetting some homework, and I think he's been a little, I forget what term you used, Amy, so maybe a little irritable towards his music teacher, which isn't like him. So I think it can be normal to go through those ups and downs. You know, I don't care what anyone says, the full moon does something. And I know when there's a dang full moon, judging by how some of my kids act. You know, and there could be so many reasons. We just got back from Christmas break. So, I mean, Amy, maybe he was like sleeping in for a while, maybe staying up a little later, kind of doing what he wants. And then it's like, boom, like having to go right back on the schedule right away. Maybe it's taken a bit to get back onto schedule. That could be, I guess, maybe causing a little irritability.
Yeah, I think just for my, you know, raising my two boys is that anytime that they got out of their routine, their normal routine, and that could be during summer break or, you know, Christmas break, holiday break, when they went back to school or got back in the groove of life, there was an adjustment period. And especially for my son that has ADHD, I mean, he struggled with transitions and definitely would struggle with trying to get back into the routine of life. And so, and then we have to think also when we're talking about ADHD is that we have that emotional dysregulation piece of it too, where, you know, that's a whole other topic to talk about. And there's so many things that can impact that piece of it too. You know, sensory overload, you know, masking, all of it can definitely contribute to emotional dysregulation, not getting enough sleep, not getting, you know, taking breaks throughout the day. And so those things they wear on you. They really do. It wears on you. So, yeah.
Well, and she just said, we just thought it was us. He gets overwhelmed when overstimulated.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the, you're a mean mom, you're a mean dad, hugging his brother, then hitting him. You're probably right with the routine. So has he told you what maybe bothers him as far as stimulation? Because kind of like what I was saying earlier, there could be something that maybe he isn't even really realizing until there's a light, like someone sheds light on it. And it's like, oh man, I actually really don't like that. That really bothers me. Like, even, like, think of a fan. There's some people, it's like nails on a chalkboard to hear white noise or a fan.
Yeah.
But it's almost like sometimes you don't realize it until like that is the problem, until I don't know, like someone sheds some light on it. So I don't know. He mentioned what bothers him.
You know, something that I would try, and this may not help, but it's definitely worth a shot. When he does act out like that, I would maybe try to like jot down, maybe in your phone or make a voice note or something. What was he doing before then? Did he just come home from school, or did he, if he played sports, was it after him going to practice, and see if there's some sort of a pattern of when these behaviors are happening. If it's, you know, correlating to possibly, you know, after basketball practice or something, if it's happening after certain things, just trying to identify what's triggering those behaviors. And so
right. And it's not just you. Sorry, I just interrupted you.
Oh,
no, Amy, I know you are doing everything you possibly can.
Yeah.
I know it, and Tish knows it too. We both see it. So I mean, it's not just you. Sometimes we got to put ourselves, like, sometimes it's hard to realize like we go through the same things. Like, even think about us as adults. Like, we could be fine 1 minute, and then the next minute, like, someone cuts us off in traffic, and then, you know, there it is. Then we're just like, we're angry all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And a few minutes later, we're fine. I mean, they're little humans too. And I know you know this, Amy, but sometimes it just takes us thinking about like, gosh, I kind of do this too.
Yeah.
So It's usually after school pickup or after play dates. Sometimes a tight hug will help, but sometimes he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He's probably acting out, and I'm not sure, but just my thought on this is that he's probably acting out because he has been completely overstimulated, and maybe there's a little bit of masking kind of sprinkled in there too.
Mm-hmm.
That just, you know, it's a lot for sure.
Yep.
You want to take one more?
Yeah, I saw a question about, well, you know what? I saw a lot of questions about medication and supplements. So let's address that real quick.
Yeah.
When did we upload a podcast with Dr. Perry? I'll type it in here. Our podcast is the Brain Health Journey podcast, and we had Dr. Perry Mandanis on to talk about medication, and I mean, we learned so much about it.
Yeah.
But I forget exactly. I mean, I think it was a couple months ago, 3 months ago. So it is on Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio. I'm going to pin it, but you'll see in the title, Dr. Perry talking about medication. That's a really good episode to listen to just because he is a psychiatrist. So I mean, we could answer general questions, but it's really hard for us to talk about.
That's the one topic that I don't talk about because there's just so many factors that play into all of that. So I don't touch that topic at all. I'm happy to share my experience with medication, but I do not give advice. So
yeah. Okay, so the food dyes. Someone was asking about like food dyes and if that has an effect on, I guess, ADHD or behavior or anything. From what I understand, there are some mixed studies. Now, I will say that it does affect our son. He knows it. I mean, we know it. I mean, we've kind of like tested. I don't think it's a coincidence. Every time he has certain things, he just, I don't know, he's in an extremely irritable mood for a few days. And so he has to stay away from certain things. So, but I don't want to say there's like conclusive, solid evidence. I mean, it's mixed. I don't know if you've kind of looked into it a little bit.
Yeah, there's definitely mixed research out there. And I think this kind of goes along with everyone is so different. And so, I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't affect people because it possibly could. But there's a lot of mixed research out there on that. Personally, you know, food dye doesn't bother me with my ADHD or make my traits worse. But they're just like your son. I mean, it does affect other people. So
yeah,
I think depends on the person, food sensitivity, and you know, there's just so many things that could play into that too.
Absolutely. You know? And we had Becca on for ADHD nutrition. We had her on a podcast, Becca King. So that's something to listen to as well. She's so knowledgeable and was such a great episode. We need to have her on again.
I know, she is amazing, so knowledgeable, personable. I mean, she's wonderful. So she has so much knowledge, and I'd love to have her on again. Sure.
I mean, she would tell you that it really does depend, you know, like gluten, dairy, all these things, like it does bother some people, but not everybody.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends. There's some people, they say MSG, like that really sets me off. And then some others, like it just doesn't bother them. So I hope that answers your question. I know that really wasn't a solid answer, but yeah. So, well, Tim, I really appreciate you coming on. I know that there's been a lot going on with you as far as your health, and we just appreciate you taking some time to answer some questions and being on here and hanging out with us for a little bit.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on. I love, as you all know, like I love doing this. It's just, I learn something new every Friday when we go live, and I love connecting with everyone. So this is a good distraction from stuff for me too. So yeah, it's been great. Honestly, it just kind of gives me some energy. So I enjoy
Yeah.
it. And I need some energy for sure. Yeah.
Right. I know you're so tired. I mean, everybody send good thoughts, vibes, or prayers, whatever it is that you do or believe in, send all the good stuff to her.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank
We
you.
love you too, Amanda. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, hopefully we will see you all this Friday, next Friday.
Fingers
Um,
crossed.
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you again. I hope you have a great weekend.
You too. Yes. Yes. Everyone have a great and safe weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.